2026 is now called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours prior to commencement of this meeting pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 231, the laws of 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the time, date, and location of this meeting has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting dates on the municipal bulletin board, and sending a copy to the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for a salute to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. Chief Cavalier, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Payne.
Here.
Councilman DiBenedetto.
Here.
Councilman Friedman.
Here.
Councilwoman Jordan. Here. Councilman Reich.
Here.
Councilwoman Rogers. Here. Councilwoman Schutzler. Here.
Okay, again, welcome. I'd like to welcome all the officers from Freehold Borough Police Department. How about a big hand for our police department? We don't get a chance to do this at every meeting, but when we can, we do. So I just want to personally thank everyone up here for all you do for our town. We really appreciate it. And it's always great when we can swear in a new officer. So item 4 on our agenda this evening is swearing in an oath of office. Giovanni Lopez, Patrolman, Freehold Borough Police Department. We ask Giovanni and his family to come forward and ask Chief Collier to come forward also. I'd like to see if maybe the chief would like to say a few words about.
Thank you, Mayor Kane, members of the council, Business Administrator Gallo. It's a proud moment tonight for the Freehold Borough Police Department as we swear in, witness the ceremony of swearing in of the 122nd officer in the history of our department, Giovanni Lopez. About a year ago, I met Giovanni at a chief's test, and we kept in touch. And his drive to become a police officer led him to the Atlantic County Police Training Center, where he went in as an alternate route candidate. I knew at that time we had a race to get him on our department, and with the growth of our department, he's now the 31st police officer on our department, increased on our staffing level. He's a resident of Howe Township, veteran of the United States Marine Corps, which is also a very proud moment for our police department. Currently, 22.5% of our workforce is made up of United States military veterans, and I can't say enough about our veteran officers and all our officers included. We look forward to Giovanni having a great, safe career, and we welcome his family now to our family for our police department family.
Thank you, Chief. Swear you in now. The Bible. Put your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Giovanni Lopez,
I, Giovanni Lopez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties as patrolman for the Freehold Borough Police Department.
all the duties as patrolman,
Freehold Borough Police Department.
Freehold Borough Police Department,
According to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
And let us remember that this is a family visit, and we honor Congratulations.
Family members out. Thank you.
Good luck. Guys, come on, this up, please.
Be shy, boys. Stick Sammy in the back.
That's where he wants to be.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
As always, you're welcome to stay if you like this at the meeting. Shirley don't have to. Okay, item 5 this evening, workshop discussion, anything?
No, sir.
Okay, item 6 is the approval of minutes council meeting, March 2nd, 2026, and March 16th, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
The minutes of council meetings, March 2nd, 2026, and March 16th, 2026 are approved. Item 7 is proclamation of the mayor and council of the Borough of Fredo declaring April 11th, 2026 as Community Unity Walk Day. I'd like to ask Councilmember Rogers if you please read this into the record for us.
Absolutely. This proclamation recognizes our walk that will be this Saturday, April 11th. The entire community is invited to join us. We will begin the walk at Court Street School, and we will end it at the Freehold Library. It is just a short walk to give us the opportunity to, maybe talk to someone we haven't talked to before, just walk through the town and, greet the people throughout the town. Borough of Freehold proclamation of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold declaring April 11, 2026 as Community Unity Walk Day. Whereas the Borough of Freehold believes that human beings everywhere are inherently good and decent, and whereas we believe that peace and harmony among people of all faiths and all persuasions is possible, and that such relationships will help further understanding in our community. And whereas, as a municipality, we choose to embrace unity, peace, and harmony, and to promote a process of meaningful connections with each other in our community. And whereas we choose to walk together on common ground in a symbolic pilgrimage of our shared humanity in the spirit of diversity, harmony, and union. And whereas we believe that each step taken of the Community Unity Walk enables us to experience and to feel peace and harmony, so that we are able to act and behave that same way in our everyday lives and interaction. And whereas we invite people from every walk of life, different ethnicities, races, religions, colors, genders, and cultures to join Freehold Borough on this virtuous mission. Whereas the Freehold Borough Council commends the work of the Human Relations Advisory Committee for its efforts to bring all members of the community together through education, advocacy, and connections to increase coordination and visibility of Freehold Borough's commitment to unity in our community and acknowledges that our diversity is our strength. Now therefore be it proclaimed that on behalf of the Freehold Borough Council, I, Kevin Kane, Mayor, do hereby declare April 11, 2026 as Community Unity Walk Day in the Borough of Freehold. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8, is proclamation of Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold declaring the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'd like to ask Councilmember Rice, will you please read this into the record for us?
My pleasure. Borough of Freehold's proclamation of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold declaring April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Whereas there are about 2 million youth aged 17 and younger living in New Jersey, and whereas it is estimated that 1 in 100 children experience abuse, and whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of the Borough of Freehold. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, I, Kevin A. Kane, Mayor of the Borough of Freehold, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Borough of Freehold, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. Signed, Kevin A. Kane, Mayor, April 6, 2026.
Thank you. Item 9 is the first reading and introduction ordinance 2026/10 to exceed the municipal appropriations limit established at Cap Bank, NJSA 48:4-45.14.
I'll move that.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan? Yes. Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
The ordinance 2026/10 is introduced. Item 10 is our consent agenda, and just a note that matters listed on the items of the consent agenda are required to conduct the day-to-day operation of the borough and will be enacted by one motion, the form listed below. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired of any items, that item will be considered separately. Someone like to move consent agenda items CR1 through CR12?
Mayor Kane, I would like to do that, but I would like to have CR7 and CR8 removed and voted on separately.
Okay.
As well.
Okay, so let's, somebody like to move CR1 through CR6 and CR9 through CR12?
I will do that.
Second. Any discussion?
Yes,
Roll call.
it's always a good thing when you see the cafe licenses and ice cream truck licenses. Good sign.
Any further discussion?
I'd just like to welcome Christine Pika to the Board of Health. She's going to be a good member of that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda items CR1 through CR6 and CR9 through CR12 are adopted. Let's go to consent agenda, resolution CR7, acknowledging compliance with the 2019 Center Core Rehabilitation Plan regarding Block 71, Lot 9, 10 to 12 West Main Street Holdings LLC. Someone like to move this?
Oh, we got a discussion.
Yeah, if you move a second.
I'll move CR7.
Second.
And would we move both of them, or?
That will do one.
Okay, just CR7.
Yeah, discussion.
Sharon, you have discussion or?
Yeah, I voted against this when the plan was brought in front of us, and I'm voting against it now.
Alright, I voted for it, and I'm still gonna vote for it, but we just gotta go through a couple things, in the resolution and from the minutes. So, 10 to 12 West Main Street, and it's basically the same for both. Number 4 talks about parking variance not required. I'd just like to have some language added in there noting that they are providing parking for this project. Secondly, I want to make sure that the cell phone, the cell phone situation and, the towers and making sure that that is compliant with the previous HPC approvals is taken care of before, it's constructed, and I'd like that kind of clarified as well. Also want to confirm and clarify the number of parking spots at the 58 West Main Street property and make sure those are striped, as approved, as process goes forward. And then it says in number 9, we had talked at the and then it says, applicant will assign specific spots to specific tenants. We had spoken at the last meeting, if a tenant is sick and the car is there all day, that's really not gonna work. So if we see in the minutes from that hearing, Mr. Trevor notes that the garbage will include recycling and additional parking spaces are first come, first served. So I'd like to have those things addressed, as well as, because it's not completely clear on these resolutions that the HVAC units will be on separate buildings. Sorry, but that's all I got.
Okay.
All right, so you just go through the numbers we need to adjust again? In the resolution?
For something noting that that there is parking being provided. Nowhere in here addresses the cell phone stuff that I noticed, or that, I missed it.
Check number 8 for CR7.
Oh, okay, all right, great.
It's actually 8 on both of them.
Yep, they're matching. And that the units will be separate. I'm not sure if it's clear, but
AC units?
yeah, making sure that that's clear, that they're in separate buildings. And then number 9, that it's first come, first served with the parking, and that we get a verification of how many spots are at 58 West Main Street, and that they are striped.
And to clarify, I'm voting against it because I am not satisfied with the parking.
I'm going to defer to our council. Would it be better to hold these resolutions and
Yeah,
make the adjustments and then vote on a clean copy?
Yeah, let's
All
do
this
that.
stuff?
Yeah, because some of that stuff is in there, but I think Jeff, Councilman Freeman, you just want to be more specific on some, so we can pull those and vote on them in the next
Yeah,
meeting.
instead of approving them with, these changes pending, it's better to put it in writing and then approve it in whole.
Agreed.
So, that being said, would someone like to make
I'll make a motion to table.
hold- Yeah, to table CR7 and CR8?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes, to table.
Okay, so CR7 and CR8 are tabled for further clarification to be put on the meeting, the agenda for the next meeting. Okay? That's the end of our consent agenda. Item 11 is the approval of bills.
Make a motion that, we pay our bills that have been reviewed and confirmed, by members of council and our business administrator. I hope that satisfies the our bills is not sufficient.
Okay,
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, our bill list for this evening's meeting is approved. Item 12 is a redevelopment presentation. Downtown Slime Trail LLC requesting a change of use, 36 South Street, Block 71, Lot 15, from FCCRP -B to HBC. I'd like to turn this over to our friend, Mr. Cockrell, to set it up for us, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, so this will be a presentation for the redevelopment area. The applicant is located in the 2019 Freehold Center Core Rehabilitation Plan area. Council will present the application. The borough planner and the borough engineer have issued comprehensive reports and will provide testimony and ask some questions at the conclusion of the presentation.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, professionals, and staff. Peter Licata, law firm of Son with Mayor Licata, on behalf of the applicants, Downtown Slime. I have with me tonight two witnesses, Michael Stefani, who is the principal of Downtown Slime, and also Allison Coffin, a professional planner. You'll hear from both of them as to the nature of the business and responses to various questions in the report. By way of introduction, I'd like to propose two thoughts that you'll hear about. One, you'll hear a description of the business and its proposed signage. And in an effort to streamline a property that has a long history, my client would be content to propose seeking variance for 8 spaces, given that 12 spaces are required by ordinance for his use, and that 4 spaces are being provided to him by lease through his landlord on site. You'll hear from him that there are 7 spaces on site, 4 of which he has a written lease to use for his business, which has been provided as part of the record of this application. And it is his understanding, based upon his review, and he's a licensed real estate agent and commercial property owner in the borough for many years, that of the 7 spaces, as you would note from the prior approvals of both this body as well as the planning board, were not designated to any particular user in the prior approval. And it's his understanding that none of those 7 spaces are currently leased to another user. So just to give you a more simplified overview of what our objective is tonight, we propose to address the parking variance of 8 spaces by way of obviously the payment in lieu that is provided for by ordinance.
The 4 spaces that are on site, where are they located?
They are to the rear of the property,
Okay.
and you'll hear that from Michael.
Okay.
So, Robert, I don't know if you want to swear both of our witnesses at the same time?
Yes. Could you stand and raise your right hand, please? Do you each swear or affirm that your testimony this evening will be truthful?
I do.
Thank you.
Michael, can I see you from your photo?
Yes.
Michael, I know you're not a stranger here, but for purposes of the record, could you give yourself a brief introduction to everyone, and then we're going to talk about the nature of the business.
So, good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Stefani. For the past over 13 years, I've been the owner of CKO Kickboxing, also located in Borough. And for the past 5 years, I'm also the owner of the property located at 536 Park Avenue. And I'm interested in opening another business in Borough called Downtown Slime.
Great, thank you. And the space that you're proposing to utilize is the space that used to be the former artist brewery space?
Correct, yes.
And can you describe the kind of activities and amenities that you would offer to your patrons?
Absolutely. So our thought for Downtown Slime is to be an instructional art studio, if you will, where children and families can come in. They'll be able to sit down. It'll be guided, where kids could mix together ingredients to make slime, change colors, have smells and scents, and get imaginative with it. Along with that, that'll be our day-to-day. We have other ideas that we feel play well with the restaurants and shops in Borough, where families can bring their children, drop them off for a 2-hour experience on the weekend nights, where the families can go enjoy one of the restaurants, one of the concert series, all the stuff that's already happening in Borough. We're hoping to complement that. while also not just leaning on the weekend nights, but trying to drive more traffic during the weekend on the weekdays, on the weekends as well, the daytimes.
And in terms of the hours of operation and the days that you would operate the business, could you review those for us?
Absolutely. We'll look to be open from 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock during the week, and 10 o'clock a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekends.
Great. You submitted various materials for your application, including photos. You've had a chance to the property.
Yes.
You've had a chance to visit the property.
Yes.
And you've observed that there are 7 spaces at the rear of the property, which are also depicted in an aerial in the Borough Planner's report. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
And in your negotiations with your landlord, have you obtained a written supplement of your lease designating 4 of those 7 spaces exclusively for your use?
Correct. Yes.
And those would be 4 of the 7 spaces at the rear of the building.
That's correct. Yes.
Here's the only problem with that, and I'm sorry, but there was a survey done, and I'm under the impression that those spots behind the building are owned by the borough.
Respectfully, there's absolutely nothing in the record as to that. Every prior approval, both by this body as well as by the planning board, indicates that there are 7 spaces on the property. So
I think there are
this-
7 spaces that are allocated to the property. I don't know if they're owned by the property.
Oh, okay, so if we taper it back, then
We
they are
definitely taper
they're-
that back.
Okay, then they are allocated,
But,
not,
but that's, I can't even say that.
I understand. But
Just
insofar
from the
as,
surveys that I saw,
okay,
I believe, and the attorney or the business administrator may know better than me.
Mr. Chairman, it is my belief that the borough owns those properties. If they're allocated, I don't know who allocated them, and I've never seen any documentation that supports that.
I mean, when it's paid parking, they're paid spots, right?
They're paid spots, yeah, and they belong to the borough.
Mr. Freeman, we actually did prepare a survey of those lots, and I agree, looking at where they are on the property, that they are owned by the borough. They're in the McGackin.
Right. I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to allocating a couple of those spots personally, but
Right.
I just think,
Yeah.
for the record, we need to make sure from a property standpoint.
yeah, for the record, I'll stipulate that we're not making any assertion on behalf of the owner or this applicant as to the owner of the building or this applicant owning in fee those spaces. Simply for purposes of this application, we would like to point out that there are of record 7 spaces allocated to the users of this building. And of those 7, my client has made an arrangement with the landlord to have 4 of those spaces used specifically for this user within the building and not for the other 2.
Mr. Chairman, I would advise that the landlord has no authority to grant the use of our property.
I have the same question.
So this is my understanding, I think the attorney's correct, this goes back very, very, very far back to applications before there were surveys. I mean, this goes back to before you were here, before I think even you were sitting in this seat at this point. This goes back a long, I think, whatever initial granting of use was done a while. But it just is what it is. I mean, I don't know how we handled it, but there definitely was, I believe, at a point in one of these applications, a belief that those spots were part of that property, whether that was in error or not. I think at some point years ago.
Yeah, obviously, we'd like to see this business
Absolutely.
succeed, but the only people with the authority to grant the use of those spaces for a specific purpose would be the governing body. And if that did occur, there would have to be a written agreement, which the clerk would have on file.
I just want to clarify something. We're talking about parking in the McGackin lot, but the parking lease that I see is for Mommy Collision, so are there 2 parking
There
arrangements?
would be
Oh, okay.
2 different
I
parking
missed the
locations.
second one.
4 in one and 8 in another, I believe, right?
And this the other one.
Well, I think they're just going 4 here and 8 in the variance to pet.
Correct.
I think they're foregoing the Monmouth collision spots.
Well, we haven't heard that yet, but
No, that's,
Yeah, that
I
was,
think that's what you said
that
off the
was
top.
what I was attempting to indicate in my introduction.
Yeah, that's
Mark,
exactly.
that in the interest of expediency and simplicity, we would be willing to forego seeking credit for the 5 spaces that he had negotiated a lease off-site, based upon our understanding that over the past 10 years, when this property has appeared before both this governing body and the planning board, it was stipulated of record by both this governing body and the planning board that there were 7 spaces allocated for use of the users of this building, 4 of which we would propose to use.
I do believe that that was mentioned in a prior resolution
Yes.
from the Borough Council, that there were 7 on-site spaces, so that may be
I think that is exactly what it is.
the basis for the confusion currently.
Because at one point there was,
With the original approval by the council for the restaurant, the brewery, and the brewery, it was discussed that there was supposed to be 7 spaces on site.
Correct, Barbara, and that was page 4 of the resolution of this board under number 92-19 dated June 3rd, 2019.
So I can't testify as to.
Yeah. In fact, there are no parking spaces
no,
on
but
site.
I think there is a sense of detrimental reliance on that approval that we should try and honor if possible in
Yeah,
some way. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna put no parking signs only for that, but essentially we can say he's got 4 spots towards his cap, you know, and, because as we all know, all of this parking and all of these lots is mythical counting anyway. The parking doesn't exist for any, it never has.
I don't know what to say to that.
You don't have to say it, just put it out.
And I was just clarifying where the confusion may have, I wasn't stipulating.
No, I think you're exactly where,
It was
that's
just
exactly where.
clarifying where the confusion was stuck there.
Thank you, and that's exactly what we would be proposing as you have described, Council President.
So to clarify, we're not designating any parking spaces, but we're giving a credit for 4, and we will pay the fee for the 8.
In a nutshell, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. As to the wall signs that you're proposing, you're proposing replacements in kind in every dimensional and material sense in terms of its construction and composition as the Artist Brewery sign, obviously changing the background color and your logo, which would be subject to HPC approval, assuming that the governing body acted favorably tonight. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So in terms of its height from the ground and its maximum height, there would be no change from what's currently existing.
Correct.
The sign's construction and dimensions, which would be provided specifically by way of supplemented exhibit to the HPC, again, will comply with exactly the structure that is there, so protrusion from the wall, et cetera, that would remain exactly as currently proposed.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You're not proposing any non-dimensional lettering, like vinyl decals or?
What is the sign material going to be made of? So exactly what's there right now with Artist with a black rectangle, we'd just be changing the logo from Artist to Downtown Sign.
And so the downtown spot material would be, just for the record, do you know what it is right now?
I don't know, but we'd be mimicking what's currently there for sure.
Obviously, the sign is still for historic preservation, just as a heads up, it's gotta be some sort of HDX material, something that's routed and whatnot. I know Big Design and they work well, they do a great job. I know that typically they do more vinyl sided stuff. My only concern would be that the sign that you're putting forth, because of all the different colors and the color overlap, I don't know if that'll work out as the same HDX material or whatever the routing material. So just something to, when you come before HPC, have all that information. Samples are great as well. But just make sure you got those I's and cross those T's before you come before the commission.
Absolutely, thank you. So again, you would stipulate that they would be composed base materials and high-quality synthetics or other materials as specifically authorized by the ordinance, and we would not be seeking any variance review from that, is that correct? That's correct. Thank you.
So, so here's one thing with that. I agree with everything you said there. So I've noticed with some signs, and it's not with charcoals or with the breweries, the artist brewery sign, but the backings at some places are starting to fade. I don't know if that's because it's a sub-quality material or whatnot. This is less for you guys, but more for our profession. We should look into some of these materials that don't seem to last very well in the sun. But if it's generally, the ordinance says these things should have edging and routing, but that doesn't match what was approved for the building. So I'm kind of fine with it as long as it's kind of matching the motif of the building as it is.
You would agree to stipulate to that? Absolutely.
Michael, will there be anything in the windows as far as signage, to create some kind of interest when traffic goes by, what's in there, or?
No plans for that right now.
Okay.
And so again, in terms of the proportion of the facade or as a percentage of the sign as it relates to the facade, there would be no change from what was previously proposed. Is that correct? The building's basement area, I understand that's not included in your tenant lease. And again, other than the proposed sign, you're not proposing any changes to the exterior of the building, given the existing modestly narrow sidewalk. You're not proposing any plantings or revisions of the sidewalk or its construction, or bicycle racks. It's simply the lease of the interior space.
Correct.
And likewise, you have currently all utility services needs. There's no new connections or equipment that would be installed by the building or on top of it.
No, that's correct.
Okay. So there's no new HVAC, rooftop, or other mechanicals. Your landlord would maintain the exterior of the building under the terms of your lease, but you're responsible for the interior of your space.
Yes.
And the removal of your trash, as you're familiar with your other businesses in terms of arranging at least once.
All right, let's touch base with
So
that.
that's, what are your plans?
Currently, those businesses go to the market yard dumpster pad.
Yes.
They pay into the cleaning fee and then they pay for your cartage, whatever their rate they charge. So that would be the process here as well. Until such time that a communal dumpster pad is built for that lot.
And you stipulate to that continues.
Yes.
Your supplies for the business, what kind of vehicles? Are these large trucks or small box trucks, vans, that kind of thing?
I don't intend on having any vehicles for myself for the business.
This is a small sand, watercolor paint, tie dye, and things like that.
Correct.
So basically, the employees bring from their cars, is that how that works?
Yes, it would be standard drop-offs from Amazon, kind of this, but nothing major, no tractor trailers or anything like that. No.
Good question when it comes to that. So camps or birthday parties or things like that, you may get like a school bus, like have you thought about, like if it's a camp, how they're gonna just drop off? I mean, you definitely wanna bring it,
Correct.
but have you thought about how that procedure would work?
Yes, I was thinking absolutely no drop-offs on South Street. I
Okay,
was thinking they should be dropped off in the rear of the lot. Parents dropping kids off should walk their children in. And then, yes, we would arrange for drop-offs in the rear, and then they could walk on the sidewalks to the main entrance.
all right, do we, school bus, like what's the rate, I just wanna check, say radius, buses going into that, what's the rule, are we okay with that?
It's more, I mean,
The best spot would be right here, right on Mechanic Street, from that little cut through for buses, anyway. Gee,
And I'm not sure a bus could maneuver that McGacken lot. I mean, I want buses, I mean,
Yep, no, absolutely.
but I just wanna
Totally open to.
make sure that we're not setting something up for a disaster.
Absolutely.
Michael, I'm not familiar with the business. You're not familiar. I'm more familiar with the kickboxing, but is it a liquid waste? Is it liquid waste?
No, so what it is you give the children a paper dish, a bowl, and they mix together glue, activator, which is essentially a contact solution, a popsicle stick, and then colored sand. If you're familiar with a color run, the sand that changes color, so it's not food coloring, it's actually a sand, and they mix it together with a popsicle stick, and that forms slime.
They take it home.
And they take it home in a container. Yes, yep, that's it. And then it's in their parents' carpets and everything, and then they come back to it.
You should open a carpet cleaning.
Exactly, that's it, exactly.
At this point, I would open up my open to further questions about his business, if there are.
Quick question about the sketch that was sent for the layout space. So, it kind of only depicts half the mezzanine area. Is the entire mezzanine going to be used for the business?
No, it'll just be the rear mezzanine. The front mezzanine, the landlord is keeping to himself.
So it's going to be closed off.
Yes.
So there are going to be changes done to the interior of the space.
Not by myself, but I'm not leasing anything other than the rear mezzanine where the stairs currently lead to inside in the space.
Okay. So the front mezzanine is going to be closed off by the landlord.
And is there gonna be access from this other space into your space?
No.
So there's no way whoever's on the, because at one point there was some design up there where people from the restaurant could get into where he wanted to put apartments, and it just looked really weird. But there's gonna be no access between the businesses or other spaces.
Correct.
Follow-up
I don't
question.
think you'd want that, but.
No, definitely not. No.
So, he's closing off the front portion of the mezzanine. Where's the fire exit from the mezzanine? Isn't it in the front portion?
There is an exit upstairs. Yep.
So if you go up the stairs, in order to get to the exit, you have to do a 180 to come towards the front of the building. Isn't there a door on the side that leads down, or is the exit from the mezzanine towards the back, the area that you're using?
There's 3 doors in the space. There's a main entrance, there's a rear exit,
Okay.
and then there's one upstairs on the front portion towards South Street.
Okay, so if he closes off that front area of the mezzanine, you don't have access to that fire exit.
I don't know what his plans are and how he's separating it. I just know that's not part of my lease.
Okay. That might be something that you want to find out, because if I'm not mistaken, you need 2 meters of egress from that mezzanine, and having just the one stairs won't count as.
But you said there's 2
There's
accesses
one
on
on the
that.
first floor, right? And one on the second floor. Yeah, so if he closes off that front portion, then you don't have access to that fire exit.
There's not a door in the back in this section. I thought there was a door somewhere in this section of the mezzanine that went this way.
Fire exit, you can't exit from, in case of emergency, you can't exit from one space into another space. The exit has to be directly into whatever the means of egress.
Right. I don't know what's on the other side of that door, but I'm just saying, I thought that, and I know there's a staircase back there. Is there a staircase in the back?
There is a staircase, yes.
Is that accessible from that mezzanine?
No, there is 2 closets up there, up on that
Okay.
space in the parking lot.
I mean, that's a fire issue.
Just as a point, that would be good to have architectural plans to see. Last thing we want to do is approve use for space that doesn't have proper egress, and obviously you're gonna have to go through the building department, which code, the fire code, and also take a look at that as well. But that's something that you may want to get clarification from on your landlord.
Sure.
Because that's gonna determine whether or not that space is technically used properly.
And whether they're going to get permission to make a revision.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what do either of you know what the brewery use was categorized as? Was it a business use or an assembly use?
But how did they, I guess, the question is, how did they do their parking? Did they do it based on seating, or did they based on square face?
I mean, if it's a,
I feel like it was done on seating, and his is based on square feet, so it's a different, it's a totally different calculus.
yeah. And the other reason I asked is because I was just thinking about bathroom, there's 2 unisex bathrooms downstairs? Is there anything upstairs?
No.
Because if it was a assembly use has a lower net square footage, the count's higher for bathrooms. If it's a business use, it's a higher square footage, but a lower count for bathrooms. Just want to make sure that, run the numbers to make sure that you don't do any modifications to the
on the picture, are you using the mezzanine just for storage, or are you using it for additional like retail space?
Predominantly it will be for storage, but it would be nice to use it on weekends if need be, you know, for a party room or something like that. But Monday through Friday, it's not gonna be used for everyday business. It would kind of be just an extra space if anything.
How many employees will you have?
During the week, it'll be staffed by 2 employees during the week, quieter times. On the weekends, I'll have 4 employees working on Saturday and Sunday, potentially Friday night.
Now, the mechanical, I know that, and this is not really you so much, actually, I'm not quite sure who would address this, you guys, I guess. There was mechanical equipment attached to the building which related to the brewery. Like some big thing stuck on the side of the building, you know, the back on the side of the building. It was, to create the pressure in the taps and the something. Does that stuff end up going away now that that business is no longer, like, how does that sort of stuff work? Again, I don't think this is necessarily.
Is it still there? Or is it
I honestly don't know, but.
That might be a question for the landlord, just because if the use is abandoned, it would be reasonable to remove it, but I don't know.
Alright, can we just maybe look into that separate from their application? Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
I think this is a great
questions.
use.
I just have a comment. I don't understand. I love the idea of business. I think that's wonderful. And we love having new businesses. I am always skeptical about this parking that is allocated and reallocated and reallocated, and the parking always concerns me. There'll be 4 employees there on the weekends, and you have supposedly allocated 4 parking spots. So, I just always have concerns about that. And now I also have a concern about this fire thing. We can't approve it until that's.
The fire exit, respectfully, I believe would be a matter to be taken up during the building permitting application for the interior renovations. The question before us is simply the change in use subject to compliance with all of the conditions, such as requisite building permits for any interior alteration.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get permit from approvals and do that. Yeah, the reason why I brought it up is because of the sketch plan didn't show that other half of the mezzanine being included the square footage. And that's why I was curious as to what that other portion of the mezzanine was being used for.
We appreciate getting alerted to that.
All right, so everything, the signage, when you come before HPC, dimensions, colors, materials, samples that you have, just the, you know, the more questions you answer. If we look at Beacon's report, a lot of the items are marked out as needing information to determine compliance, so just make sure you cover that. And then, does the space have access to the basement or no?
No, not on the
No, okay. So it's not part of your lease and you don't have access to it? Correct.
Anybody else? Ask our professionals, any comments?
No, over my name, was more considering just the, bringing to like the parking, which they have discussed, and they said that they would meet with the HPC regarding the signage.
I just had another question about the mezzanine, and we had Dave talk about this already, but I just see the staircase up to the mezzanine. Is that the only way to get to the mezzanine in the front of the building, or is there another staircase that's not shown in the photos?
So there's a staircase inside the building. You come to the front door right in front of you to the left there. And then if you come in from the McGaffin lot, there's an exterior door that has a staircase up to the mezzanine as well.
That's the door question. I think, if I remember correctly from when the brewery came before us, that stair has an access to the front portion of the mezzanine. Because you can't have an access from the rear portion of the mezzanine, or else you're basically falling down the stair that's where my question and concern came up, because if the front portion of the mezzanine is closed off, that removes that access from this use, or from the rear portion of the mezzanine of this use.
My guess is the landlord's probably gonna take that front portion and connect it to a use on the second floor that's above a nail shop, which is currently vacant.
Whatever it may be.
But that would be access from the adjacent
But
unit.
that's a whole other
The
mess.
whole thing. So I
You
just,
said there's a couple closets in the back on that back staircase?
Oh, no, in the mezzanine.
So the back staircase doesn't touch the mezzanine at all, really? Or does it do?
The front
It would come, start low,
And goes all the way to
and
the
then
front.
goes on an angle up to that rear or front, so it's South Street.
So they. Anything else, sir?
just one other question about the garbage recycling. I know there's gonna be agreement to put it in the dumpster and with,
The market yard.
the market yard and real cartage. Inside the building, you have area to store that garbage before you take it out. Obviously, we don't want anything outside of the building, so just wanna make sure it's stored somewhere inside.
Yes, in the rear of the space, I won't have customers going there.
Right now in the rear of the space, there's like a metal
Correct.
door, right? That's staying, I'm assuming,
Yes.
and you're gonna use that for whatever loading, unloading, and then to take the garbage out.
Correct, yeah, probably won't test it, yep.
And just what about the rooftop mechanics? Is there going to be any change to any of that with the HVAC?
No.
It's going to be exactly the same as these.
Correct.
Sit there, thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you. At this point, I bring up Allison Hoffman, our professional planner, to briefly address the variance proposal.
Okay.
Thanks. Allison, could you review your qualifications for mayor?
Sure. My name's Allison Coffin. I'm a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey. I'm also certified by the American Institute of Certified Planners. I've had my license and certification since 2005. In the way too many years since then, I've been accepted as an expert in front of boards in more than 100 communities throughout the state. I do like to stick to Monmouth, Ocean, and Middlesex counties, and I fairly frequently appear in front of your land use boards in Freehold.
Thank you. Allison, could you review what you have examined in preparation for tonight and share your observations?
Sure. I looked at the application materials, professional reports, I visited the site, and I listened to the prior testimony. I'm just going to briefly address the parking variance that's necessary for this application. This use requires 12 spaces. There are 0 off-street spaces on this property, and the applicant's requesting credit for 4 of the 7 allocated spaces to this site, which leaves them with a shortfall of 8 spaces. This is a bulk or C variance, and I think there is a particularly strong argument to be made for this as a hardship variance, where there is 0 parking available on-site, no ability to expand the on-site parking. There's very clear hardship to the applicant with regard to providing off-street parking. The payment in lieu of parking is a reasonable way to mitigate the variance that's being requested. And overall, this would not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the redevelopment plan. The use is permitted. The FCCR's plan's goal is to provide for active ground floor uses, which this application does provide, or it's a fairly creative use. And because of that, it's my opinion that the council could grant the relief that's being requested.
Thank you, Allison. Just one follow-up question. Is it your understanding from the 2019 approval of the Land Use Board that the microbrewery was required to have 20 spaces? We're proposing a business that requires 12, so this is a reduction of the intensification of this occupant or the occupant of this space.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And you're foregoing those spots for future uses of this building,
Correct.
for the record.
And I'm voting against that.
Okay, any questions for Allison? Council?
No, no questions.
Barb?
None of this time.
Trevor?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bayer. At this time, we submit our application to your collective consideration. Thank you for your time and interest. Thank you.
Okay, council comments?
I think that we covered a lot of the different questions that are meant to be answered. I don't necessarily think that it's something that's going to cause us to not move forward on the application, but it's something that they're going to have to have answers for when it comes to the next, before the HBC. I'm sorry, the historic preservation. I'll get mixed up. And then also, just before they actually go before building for permits, they're going to have these answered. I am curious about the breaking off of the front mezzanine from the application, but that's not this applicant's problem or responsibility, as long as the space that is reserved for him is code compliant, then I don't see why any issues for the building itself. And, parking is, the 4 spots that are allocated will be used by the employees over the weekend, there's same thing as all the other businesses downtown. It's, market yard during the day, the marked spots, pay parking in the weekends and the evenings on Thursday and Friday. And the only thing would just be that when you have parties, to make sure that there's, a clear walking path for whatever the attendees are, to make sure that, if they have to cross South Street, then, maybe a staff member helps them, use the number or something like that. Everybody should be stopping at pedestrians and crosswalks, but sometimes flagging down the cars to make sure they know that they have to stop is always another item. So I appreciate the applicant and the question coming forward and providing testimony, and I think it's should be a fun business, and I don't want any sound on my property, but I'm sure that someone else is more amenable than that than I do. So.
I think this is exactly the type of business that we want to encourage in downtown Freehold. It's activity, it caters to families, it provides, it's an ancillary use to the downtown in the sense that people will drop their kids off and go out to eat. I mean, it's fun, it's vibrant, somebody posted on Facebook, how come I don't use my powers to bring better businesses in town? Well, I can't force people to invest in town, but it's wonderful to know that we got great people like Mike who do invest in this town. And I think the benefits certainly outweigh the harms, especially considering they're paying for parking through the waiver program, and they're giving up spots that were allocated to the brewery. So in a sense, in this weird parking juggling game we do here, it's reducing parking demand. Makes no sense, but I think this is a very good outcome.
You really?
No, it makes no sense, but I think this is a very good outcome, and I certainly support it.
I agree. It's applicant to applicant. You have to take one at a time, see the usage of the building, and it is a deep use, as the counselor said. I think was well presented tonight. He's a proven winner in Freehold Borough as an owner and an operator. It's a drop and go. They drop the kids off and they go spend money in other directions, possibly in our downtown, as where the RM was basically housed there and you stayed there. Of course, we're always going to have a parking problem, so we could say no, 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 no. But I think you have to take applicant one at a time, see the usage that's being used for, and I welcome it.
And I just am excited to see a different kind of business downtown, and I think this is a very fun and unique idea. So, I don't have an issue with the business itself. As long, they have to be in compliance before they can open. So that's where my concern is.
Yeah, there are some things that have to get cleaned up. I'm a volunteer fireman. That kind of scared me a little bit. And the clarification in the parking will have to be worded the right way. But as far as that, it's good.
Now, the only thing I've talked about this with other applications, and this is, again, not personal any individual applicant. We can do a motion to have approval drafted, but I'd like to see them come back and give final approval once we've got the T's and I's dotted.
And I will just say that I like the business as well, and I think it's a great idea. I would love to see it, but it wouldn't be right for me to vote for something just because I like the business and against all the others. So,
I can tell you from personal experience, last week, we were down in Myrtle Beach, and my 3 young grandkids spent over an hour in the slime factory and continue to play with it for the entire week. So, it's gonna be a great business story downtown, so thank you for the thought. Do we need to, should we tidy up all this stuff, or can we approve it, continue, you gotta go through the process on the next.
They gotta start moving, yeah, they should be able to start moving, but I'd like to, we can approve, but you gotta come back and, right?
Yeah, you could make a motion subject to approval of the final resolution and incorporating the conditions that were testified to this evening.
All right,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
no.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank everybody here for working through all the procedural steps that were required before we got here tonight, as well as working through this interesting sites district. So, appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, item 13, public comments. If anyone would like to make a comment to the governing body, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Tom Park, 36 Highway Avenue, I believe this is the right place I need to be. I have an issue, you guys can talk about parking all night. I have an issue in front of my home with parking because currently, right now, my property only allows the parking of one vehicle. We have 4. And from my property down to the light on 33, you cannot park in front of my home between 2 and 4. And it's regularly there are cars regularly parked there during those hours because I guess they're picking up children from the school. I don't have an issue with that, but my son is in law enforcement and he keeps irregular hours. And he has had to get up and move his vehicle shortly after getting home because he's afraid of getting a ticket parked there. And I currently can't park in front of there either. And if I recently retired after 43 years working for the government.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it was never an issue when I was working, but now it is. My wife and I are both retired. So I didn't know if there was a way I could get a parking permit or something without, having to worry about moving the vehicle every day to different locations every day at different times of the day if we're not home or if it's parked and we leave there in the morning. So.
Kyle has a parking location? Probably for the school, park out of the school.
School pickups, right, 2 to 4?
Yeah, but
It's not just 2 to 4.
I understand that, so then they shouldn't be parked there though, right? It says no parking 2 to 4, they're parked there every day anyway. So that's why, I'm not looking to get anybody in trouble or not, I'm just trying to say that if my vehicle is parked in
You
front
just
of
wanna
my.
have a little thing in your sticker, so in case
Right.
they decide to take it, that your guy don't get it. that your
Right,
son
for
doesn't get it.
the vehicles that we do have, like I said, my son keeps gear in his car, he's a police officer in Alton, and he doesn't wanna park his car down the street and have his gear, possibly messed with or something like that. And like I said, it's just, we don't wanna have to go away and have to worry about if I'm parked in the wrong spot or get a ticket. And, so far, knock on wood, I haven't, I wanna receive my parking ticket my whole life, and it was in the market yard for parking in this bad spot, but.
Councilwoman Schutzer, haven't we done this for the racetrack? Something?
I'm sorry, what?
Did we do something similar to this for the racetrack and
Well,
residents?
You had to have permit parking only, but that was,
Yeah.
That came
And
all.
now-
Well, even with the paid parking, there was discussion about on Mechanic going across there over to Jackson Terrace and parts of Broad, making that with a permit for residents that live there, to be able to park, so it certainly can be something.
Chief, maybe we can, go take a look at that and see, so the people picking up kids are getting out of the cars, parking, getting out of the cars, walking up to school? Or
Well,
sitting in the car, maybe?
they're sitting, they're doing both, like I said, I'm not looking to get anybody in trouble or give them tickets, I'm just saying that if, like I said, I'm being redundant. If I'm away, or my son comes home late, or somebody's home ill during the day, we don't wanna have to get up and have to move our vehicle, and it's only from my house down, there's 3 houses. Literally, the house next to me, you can park all the way up the street, it doesn't matter. So, and conversely, like I said, my biggest problem is the fact that everybody else has more than adequate parking on their property. I don't, I have a very small apron and my wife parks behind the house sideways. And that's the only amount of parking we have back there. It's not like I'm, had more than, but everyone else has a much longer driveway or much wider driveway, and I don't. I have one spot.
That's on that alley too, that's not.
Right.
You need to go back to work, Tom, and get more off the street.
I'm 43 years long enough. It was, so, but, I didn't know if we could just get a sticker or something like that, so.
Take a look at it and see what we can come up with.
Okay, that's all I ask. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's, I don't know if it's worse being home with my wife or if it was better to go back to work.
That's on public
She said the
record.
same thing about you, I'm sure.
That's on public record.
I've got nothing to hide. She knows that.
You could strike that from the record, Tom.
That's all right. I live with fear every day and she lets me go out 3 times a week.
Anybody else in the public? There's a comment.
Good evening, Ricky Gordon, Spinoboro. I just want to go over a few little things. First, I want to thank the chief and his department. I had a little incident at my house on Saturday, and they were there immediately to assist, and Freedom Borough CMT was there immediately to assist, and I just want to thank them publicly for how quick they got to my house. It was reassuring that if there was a major thing that I knew somebody would be there, so I appreciate it. Yeah, everything's fine, everything's fine.
Never appreciate them enough until you need them.
Yeah, exactly, I hear you. When I got the agenda, I was a little shocked that the introduction of the budget wasn't on there tonight. By statute, it was required to be there tonight, the first regular scheduled meeting after the 31st of March. The introduction was supposed to be here, so I was a little shocked that the statute was violated tonight. Do we have an idea of when that budget will be introduced?
Yeah, we're working on a few things in the budget. It's going to be ready for introduction at the next meeting on April 20th.
Thank you. One last thing was at the March 16th meeting, we had gone over the ordinance for the water sewer rates. And I had sent Mr. Gallo several questions that he emailed me back this morning finally and gave me some answers. I'll follow up with the answers that he gave me tomorrow because they really didn't hit the spot on giving me an answer. But one of the things I had asked him was about the register replacement fee for $2,400 that we were going back and forth with. And it was subsequently removed from the ordinance before you voted on it. His response to me was that it was a mistake that was in the draft ordinance. So I'm just a little confused how it got from a draft ordinance to your voting on it for introduction with that being there, and then secondly going for the second reading, and then without somebody from the public coming to bring it to your attention that it should have never been in there to begin with, according to what Mr. Gallo gave me today, saying it was a mistake to have been in the draft. How did it get that far that you were voting on something that should have never even been there and you were about to vote on it? And I still haven't been given the answer on what a register replacement is, and that's all I asked. So I'd like to get an answer for that, and it's suitable for everybody.
Okay.
So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public care to make a comment?
Seeing no one else from the public stepping forward, I make a motion to close the public portion of this meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Stetser?
Yeah.
Here, council comments are closed. Item 14 is council reports and comments. Start with Council President Freeman.
Thank you all for coming out. Appreciate it. I want to thank our police officers for what they do. It's great to see another officer sworn in, young officer that's going to be on the force for a long time. We appreciate your dedication, Chief, to the units. I want to send my condolences to Officer Reef and his family on the passing of his mother. He's also a great officer, and so we appreciate his service and mourn for his loss. We got a lot of great events coming up. You can visit the various websites to find out. The Sports Fest and the Food Truck Festival are the most upcoming ones. And by the next meeting, the code office has been up, this new separate code enforcement division is up for about a month and a half. And I'm hoping that there's been a number of things done that people obviously do not know about, but I'm hoping to have a good report at the next council meeting. So with that, I hope everyone enjoys the beginning of spring. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Schuster.
The McGacken Awards, I left paperwork and ticket reservation applications out on the table for the McGacken Awards, which will be held on Thursday, May 21st at the American Hotel. That paperwork is out there. On April 25th, from 10 till 2 at the police station, we will have the drug take back, and there's also provision for the vaping devices if all the batteries are removed. Batteries all have to be removed from those things. The hydrants will be flushed on April 15th, and from 8 o'clock in the morning until the task is done. And remember that you can expect some brown water, and you just have to let it run for a little while. I also put out on the table the Alliance Golf Outing, which is the fundraiser which allows us to present so many wonderful substance abuse programs for our kids in the high schools and the intermediate schools in the borough and the township. The golf outing is on May, I think, 16th, May 16th, and the information is all out there. And it will be held at Battleground. And my condolences as well to Detective Reef and the loss of his mother.
Thank you. Councilmember Dundee.
Yes, I pass my condolences also to John and his family. Congratulations to Yolani. He's a Marine, he's got to be good. So, if you look on the website, Lake Tapanitas Commission will be having cleanup. And it will be on a Saturday. The date goes me here, but please, if you can come out and help them, that would be a great way to give back to the community. Also, for those who celebrate Passover and Easter, I hope everyone had a happy time with their and a celebrated time with their families. Just one other thing I had. I just wish everybody a safe summer. Summer's coming quick, and the brush is getting picked up. Please, please, please look at the new schedule. It's set up for our guys and girls to be more efficient. It is set up to provide a better service to the residents. Please do not confuse them by putting leaves in with the brush. There is a standard, it's got to be cut to a certain size. I go around town, people put the brush out too early. Some of them aren't on the split wheels, which will still pick it up. The other day, he had full board complained, a couple people complaining that we picked it up last week. I said, no, we didn't. The township was confused, and they came into the borough and picked up. That was not us that did that. That was the township. I'll thank Felicity, a big thank you. But don't confuse the brush and the leaves. That will not be picked up. It will only damage our machines, so be aware of that. Thank you.
Before you go on that, so I call every police officer. He's really detective lieutenant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan.
Thank you. Got a couple things. Recreation wrapped up this past week with the Freehold Basketball League. This was our second or third go around with this. It was highly successful. Anyone who came out and watched it was truly an inspiration for a lot of kids out there. And our volunteers are just amazing. So I look forward to more of that for next year as well. Also, big shout out to our fire department, as well as our recreation for hosting the Easter Bunny this past Saturday. We had well over 150 kids come on out and take a photo, and they just loved climbing on the trucks afterwards and getting some photos taken. So it was a wonderful event. Thanks. For recreation too, coming up we have our town-wide yard sale. That's going to be May 9th. That's a Saturday. You can get an application to participate online. If you just click on that date on the online calendar on the website, you can go to your application. The application deadline to be included on the map is 4/13, so get that in as soon as you can. That'll have everybody's addresses on there. They're going to be participating in the yard sale. Sharon just kind of jogged my memory. Bears Wellness has partnered. We got a small grant. We partnered with the Freehold Municipal Alliance as well as Neighborhood Connections to Health to bring resources and access to mental health care. It's all online. It's all in English and Spanish, and it's all free. So we've been promoting that through the borough. But if you have an opportunity, or if you know someone who's looking for any resources for mental health, there's a section for youth as well as for adults as well. So you can, and it's called Credible Minds, and you can just Google that and find it and sign up. Participatory budgeting, project submissions are going to be open on 4/15. You'll be able to just go online, put in any kind of idea that you might have if you want to submit it, and you can put that in, and that will be open until the end of July. No theme this year. It will be strictly a general, whatever you think we need to do, public safety, art, downtown improvements, lighting, whatever people want to see in the borough. And we'll be out and about too, making presentations to civic organizations. If anyone would like more information on that, you can just send out an email to participatory budgeting, and someone will get back to your organization. And what else? Old Freehold Day is back at the pond this year. It's August 1. This will be 50 years of the music at the pond for Old Freehold Day, so look for more information to come on that. And I think that's about all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention that the library has quite a few programs going on this month, quite a few exciting programs. We have the mobile office hours for District 11, which will occur on April 7th from 10 to 1. We have the Transgender Day of Visibility on April 13th, which will take place at 7 p.m. We have a financial literacy workshop on 4/20 at 7 p.m. and a garden workshop at 4/22 at 6:30 p.m. And then there are the regular programs that the library always has: the homework help, the book discussion, the mahjong, and things like that. So take a look at their calendar, see if there's something that catches your interest, and take an evening and go and see what's going on down there. And the rear steps have been fixed if you choose to take the steps rather than the ramp. And then, as mentioned earlier, our Unity Walk is this Saturday at 12 p.m. I guess Little League did the same thing we did and moved their parade. So their parade is at 9 and ours is at 12. So hopefully, you can make both. Ours will begin at Court Street School and it will end at the library with snacks and just an opportunity to talk to your neighbors and things like that.
And can I say that Little League is going to step off their parade from the parking lot right here at 9 a.m.
And also I wanted to extend my condolences to the Wright family on the loss of their mother as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rush.
Thank you. I as well, condolences to Detective Lieutenant Reed and his family, and welcome to Patrolman Lopez. It's a juxtaposition to having such sad news with joyous news, but that's the way that we live through our lives. The Easter Bunny Fires was awesome. It was a great day for it. I know our Easter Bunny had a great time too. I think one of the best part about it was Coach Dick flagging down drivers in bunny ears, following Easter Bunny on the side of the road. I think Coach has more energy than most people do, and we might want to get him an Easter Bunny costume next year, if there's one that's big enough. Yeah, we're long enough, yeah. The Historic Preservation Commission is reviewing the sign ordinance updated with new materials that are being used for signage. The review started at the meeting in March and will continue in April. Once we have an update for that, we'll get ordinance rewritten and put it online for people to review for signage applications. Field Little League was mentioned. Parade's awesome. It's a great time to have the parade. I'm hoping the weather stays nice. So if you want to get your steps in on Saturday, start here with the parade, go down to the Little League, walk back to the Court Street School, do the Unity Walk, and then either drive or walk home if your legs can handle it. But looking forward to participating in both the Little League parade, the opening ceremonies, and then the Unity Walk in the afternoon. The Memorial Day Parade Committee is putting on a concert of St. Peter's by the Sea on Saturday, March 16th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church. Tickets are $45 or $45 plus a small credit card fee if you purchase them through Downtown Freehold. Again, thank you to Downtown Freehold for supporting the parade committee. There's a flyer on the notice board in the lobby with the QR code. If you want to tag the QR code, it'll take you right to the page to order the tickets. Please come out and enjoy us. It's a wonderful evening of music. One of the nice things about the St. Peter's by the Sea Orchestra is that Father Alphonse, who is the conductor, does not set a playlist for the concert. He kind of goes by the feel and whim of the audience and what the band feels like doing. So it's always a different one every time. So please come out and join us. Last but not least, so Saturday, May 16th?
May 16th,
What did I
not
say?
March.
March, yeah, that would be in the past. May 16th, 7 p.m., First Presbyterian Church. Lastly, happy Easter to those who celebrated this past weekend, and this isn't case off to all those who are celebrating Passover. I'm going to go home and have some more pizza. And thank you.
Thank you. Just want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Condolences to Detective Lieutenant Reed's family, his mom. And congrats, Chief Officer Lopez. Well, we were talking about it, he's good. So, hunting them down, he's got them, so great job. Great job. We talked about a bunch of different things. I just want to put some things on your radar for July. It is the 250th anniversary of the country. So on the 4th, Saturday the 4th, we're going to have a declaration reading at 9 a.m. in front of the firehouse. I think it's the 23rd year, I believe. The next day, Sunday, July 5th, at the racetrack, we're going to have our fireworks. I believe 2 weeks after that, the Little League is celebrating their 75th anniversary. And 2 weeks after that, on August 1st, is the 50th anniversary of Old Freehold Day. So a lot happening. It's going to be an exciting time in town. So get them all on your calendar so you can take advantage of it. Item 15 is a resolution authorizing a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12B7. Discuss litigation as well as negotiations. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to move that, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go into exec session. We're going to come out just to close the meeting. There'll be no further business happening, but thank you all for coming out.